Rocks.
Whew, that was close. When I moved back to Vermont in 1994, there was very little climbing scene here. I went to Climb High. I remember asking folks who worked there, like, hey, you know, what's the climbing like around here? You know, I grew up around here. I see rocks everywhere. Driving along the highway, you see there's big mountains, there's cliffs. And the guys at Climb High were like, no, there's nothing. I mean, everybody goes to the Adirondacks or they go to the White Mountains. There's just no climbing in Vermont.
So I came back to Vermont in 2001 and went to graduate school at the University of Vermont. And there was maybe 3 climbs in Bolton that were worth doing at all. So I said, well, you know, I heard from some guys at the Gear Exchange that there is this crag out in Bolton, and there's a route there called the Rose, and it's like this 5/8 hand crack, I heard.
Around here, it was challenging because since there wasn't a guidebook or any real knowledge of a lot of the new crags we were finding, get yourself into some hot water just thinking like, oh, that crack looks like it'll go, won't be too bad, I'll jump on that. And next thing you know, you find yourself way run out on something that's totally over your head. And I had some pretty scary experiences early on, for sure. I never really intended to start bolting routes in the first place. I think if there were a million unclimbed cracks around here, I'd still be gardening them out and looking to do more of that. I'm sort of a dyed-in-the-wool trad climber from the beginning. I think when I drilled my first bolt, I said, oh, I guess I've sold my soul to the devil now.
Travis said, hey, look, there's this route I've been meaning to bolt, you know, for a long time. Do you want to bolt a route? And I said, this is cool. It's like, you could have climbed all the routes in an area that were established, and now you can, it just really went to my personal love of going out and finding new ground and doing something different that I haven't done before.
Smuggler's Notch it's amazing. The more I get up there with Seth and the more we climb up there, the more it's just the only place I want to climb.
Smuggler's Notch, I'd say, is really different from our other crags, and it has all the exposure to weather and ice and alpine conditions that we don't see at a lot of our lower elevation crags.
The big tall roots and the exposure and the loose rock and the wet and the alpine vegetation and the views. I mean, everything up there is just makes it amazing. I mean, I used to really like to get up high in the mountains and get up on the big cliffs like Cannon and Poco and stuff. And really, that's what we have around here for big stuff is Smuggler's Notch and just wanting to go up, not just up and down, but up and up and up. And if you want to do that, the Notch is where it's at. The thing that inspires me to want to do a climb, to bolt a climb, is really just my desire to want to actually climb it myself. It's maybe a little selfish at some level, I suppose, but I'm really looking for the next thing that's really going to motivate and inspire me. If it motivates and inspires other people too, I think that's fantastic.
Smuggler's Notch, the cliffs are really tall, so you're not going to easily get on top of them. So that almost requires that you need to establish ground up routes to even get established on a given wall.
Fastest drawing smugs.
So it just kind of ups the ante a bit on trying to get a route. It's just a lot more difficult.
You have to be able to climb pretty hard on sort of unknown ground and hope that somehow you can get up to a place where you can stand around and somehow get a bolt in or fiddle in some small piece of gear. And you don't know whether or not the rock you're on is going to break off. It's the real deal. It's very intense.
When you're out in the lead and you're getting really gripped, you know, trying to drill, and anybody who's drilled on the lead will know that drilling on the lead is definitely will cause you to pump out a lot faster. It's hard to get your mind off the fall and the potential consequences because fear is kind of pushing you in one direction, and that's usually driven by getting pumped or getting fearful, and you may end up making a stupid decision. There
are definitely some places where you get so run out and the rock is bad and the stances are hard, and it's been It's been scary at times for sure.
Yeah, it's all loose though.
What do you do if you get to a really difficult place and you have to somehow fight your way through to get protection and to save your own butt? You just figure it out, you do it. You get pumped out of your mind, holding the drill, just clutching onto whatever crumbly flakes you have, hoping that you can get it done.
I'll do it. Pick it up. You. Woo! My right hand's pumped. Ah!
You start from a calm position. You start from a place where you're safe. You look at what's ahead and you make a decision, and it's you never really know.
I've been pretty fortunate in my climbing career to not have too many sketchy situations happen. But there has been a couple of instances where I've taken some scary falls. It was like, just like that, you know, bang, you're gone.
You know what they say, good judgment comes from experience, experience comes from bad judgment. So there's a little bit of that. I think it's challenging when you really scare yourself or you really see something scary in climbing, coming back to it and being able to do it again.
You know, I think I just look back on it and say, what could I have done differently in that situation to make it not have been so close? I guess it's my engineering mindset coming in and saying, how can we avoid that situation next time?
I don't know how you reconcile that in your mind. I think you just realize that you got to get up and get out and do the things you love to do, and maybe you learn something from it, you know, and maybe you'll be safer because it worked out.
Travis Beckham, contractor of the mountains. I think I gotta like stop eating as many donuts or something. Just weight this knot and it's welded. Dude, you know when you weld a clove hitch, you definitely got a big fat ass.